Now once we have created a new web app on our cloud portal, next step is let's deal with the data. You can see in my management portal of Azure, left side we have one more option, which is SQL databases. Now there is a slight difference, there is a huge difference between SQL databases and storage. Right now I want you to deal with the SQL databases, which will have a relational database management system of Microsoft SQL Server. You can see here also we have a link, create a SQL database, and as I told you earlier also, we can use this plus new icon, we can go to data services, and inside which we have SQL databases. Again, because we are learning the basic things, I'm going to click on quick create. In database name, I'm giving my tempdb1. I'm going to select that this will be going to create it inside a new SQL database server. The region I'm going to select East Asia, and then I have to provide a proper login name, which I'm giving my name Maruti. For password, I'm giving a very simple password right now, which will be capital PASS pass @123. Capital PASS @123. And then I'm going to select create SQL database. Again, it's going to take some time to process the request, and we can check the details of that. You can see it's showing that successfully created a server with the unique name. Then it's going to submitting the request to create a database with my kind of name which I have specified. And here also in the status is showing that it's actually creating that. Now once the process is done, you can see that the status of this database is online. Before I deal with the database, I'm going to click on this database name here. I'm going inside the database. I'm going to click on dashboard. And once I click on dashboard, inside this particular database, you can see we have a section which is known as quick glance. This quick glance section is actually going to have very important properties of that cloud entity. Right now we are inside a database. So somewhere inside this database is showing me that this is my full server name. If I want to access a database, obviously we need a proper server name for that. Right now we have a connection string settings also inside this. But before I specify that this database is going to be connected with any developer machine using Visual Studio, I need to click on this link, which is manage allowed IP addresses. From the server side, we can see and we can associate a particular IP address with this particular database server. You can see right now I'm using this database server from my laptop, and this is showing me that this is my current IP. I'm going to click on this, and this will add this as a client IP address. So right now only this IP address is going to have a rights to this database. I'm going to specify that the allowed services for Windows Azure, yes, and then I'm going to click on save. It means even if somebody will know my username and password, still he will not able to connect with my database until unless I allow that particular IP to this particular section. I'm going back to my server and to my database. I'm going to click on dashboard, and from this particular database dashboard, I need to go back to my databases, and then inside that I need to click on dashboard, and then inside this I need to copy this server name. So I'm going to copy the server name, right click, copy, and now I want to connect this database with my client side Visual Studio. I'm opening my Visual Studio. I'm going to my Server Explorer. Inside this Server Explorer we have a button which is having a name, connect to database. I'm going to specify that we are going to connect with the Microsoft SQL Server. Click continue. In server name, I'm going to do Control V, which is paste. Then I have to provide my SQL Server authentication username and password. I hope you remember my username was Maruti and my password was capital PASS@123. I'm going to check mark save my password, and after that if I click on this drop down, I should get the access to my server-side database, which is mytempdb1. This was hosted on a cloud. I'm going to click on paste connection. Once it is succeeded, we can click on OK, OK. And you can see after some moments, we'll get the connection inside my Server Explorer. Now this is not a normal database which is connected with any SQL server. This is my database which is hosted on a cloud. Inside this database, we do not have any tables, but we have a full rights to create that. So I'm going to right click on my tables and I'm going to add a new table. Right side inside my Visual Studio 2013, we have a section from which we can create a new table with the help of SQL scripts. I'm going to specify that the name of this table will be EMP, and then we can specify some other columns and other properties of this particular table. Now, once this above section is loaded, I'm going to specify some other customized properties inside that. It is possible for you that once you are dealing with this Visual Studio, depends upon the internet speed, this particular section will take some more time to load. At that time, you have to just wait for that. I'm going to click on ID, and then I'm going to specify that my ID column, which is by default primary key, is also going to be isIdentity true, which will set this particular column as auto increment. And I'm going to specify that this will have auto increment, which is started with the 1 and is going to do increment of 111. I hope you are familiar with the table relationships, primary key, foreign key and all that. We are going to quickly specify some columns like name of the employee, which will be a varchar 50, address of the employee, which will be also varchar 50, and age, which will be integer. Once we are done with the structure, we are going to click on update. This will create a script in my Visual Studio. And then we are going to click on update database, which will execute the script. You can see it is doing some processing, and once this is going to show me a green right icon, that will be properly executed. Yes, it is done now, and you can see it is showing me that it's completed. After this, I can right click on these tables, I can click on refresh, and you can see it's showing me that now we have one simple table with 4 columns inside that. It's quite easy. I hope you understood this. Thank you.